told you, babe.
Oh my God.
I told you.
Oh my God.
I told you.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Welcome to the final edition of Celebrity Big Brother Breakdown. It's all over. 3 weeks has just flown by.
I've come in black morning attire.
Obviously, yeah.
You know,
I'm more
I got the memo.
celebratory. I'm like, it's over. No. I've got some hot pants on like David Potts.
Oh,
which you
well,
just
the
can't see.
viewers. I mean, at this point, everyone that's listening on Spotify, etc., will be like, oh no, I need to catch this on YouTube to look at Amanda's hot pants. Spoiler alert, she's not got hot pants on, unfortunately.
Oh, you're just killing the dream, aren't you?
Are you not prepared to do anything to boost the pod? Says me, sat here in a polar neck, everything's covered up. Nobody needs to see this.
Yeah, I don't think we can pull it off like David Potts can with having his hot pants, his legs out, and they're tan. They're shaved, tanned. There looks like there's a bit of cream on there to make it shiny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's real dedication.
You know, I have actually Detective Devlin'd this situation. Hope you don't mind.
No, feel free to take that on.
While you weren't here on Friday, I took it upon myself. So, you know, my little theory was that David surely is going to be offered like a fake tan range, like back in the day. Just to confirm, as yet, he has not signed a fake tan range.
He's only been out for the weekend. Give him time.
But do you know what is brilliant?
It'll
And
be
I love
happening
this.
now, I'm sure.
I love this. Like, we're hearing that he has got lots of different offers on the table. And as is rightly so, he is looking over all the different things that he could take up work-wise. And I love that for him because, like, I think the thing is, I know that we very much talked about how we were convinced that Louis was going to win. I was convinced that Louis was going to win.
Yeah.
I know we always felt like David and Nikita would be up there in the final three. But I think there were some people that were quite shocked that David did actually take the win. But I think overwhelmingly he is proof that if you're someone that's in there with like a big personality and you're fun, then, you know, that wins out, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think his looks won it for me. The fact that he, you know, would react. Everything was on his face. Like, he didn't have to say anything.
I thought you just meant like...
And his hot pants, yeah, obviously. And the entertainment of just Louis just not really understanding him the majority of the time.
Yeah.
Sharon just wanted him to put trousers on. He just was this series. I thought he was just such a great addition, and I'm really, really pleased for him. And I think also that kind of reality show that he did, Ibiza Weekender, it's not as mainstream as a lot of the others. And so this was his real, I mean, there'll be a lot of people that maybe didn't know him, an ITV audience that didn't know him. So there he is, now centre stage, and the opportunities are going to come flooding in for him. And I'm sure that fake tan edition is on its way. Yeah. Absolutely. And I'm going to be getting it because I want those legs.
Well, do you know what I always think's like complete eye roll about this world that we live in? Is that so if you look at my husband and I's sort of gathering of bottles in the bathroom, essentially it's much the same sort of thing. You know what I mean? It's moisturiser, it's this, it's that. But the way that they always feel the need for men for the branding to be slightly different. Yeah. Which is ridiculous. So totally. I am sure that David just uses good old-fashioned Molly May filter or Saint-Tropez or whatever it is.
We need to find out
legs.
from him.
But we need Potts's pins.
Potts's pins.
You could have that one, David.
You need to trademark that.
You can have that one. Pretty Polly Potts's pins. Oh yeah, like I'm sure that we've definitely not seen the last of David, and sure, it's probably going to be in a kind of ITV2 realm, but that's the perfect audience for him. And
I think he deserved that shot of winning because I think Louis spent his whole time in the house accepting the fact that this is the end of his career. He wasn't relaunching it and, you know, and to go and do loads of other things. I don't think it was more about him trying to be honest and like just be himself, and that's what we all rated about him.
Yeah, definitely.
Whereas David is using this as a platform to go on to the next thing and the next thing after that.
Yeah, it's really interesting that you say that about Louis. We actually had a chat with Louis over the weekend. So our assistant editor showbiz, Clemmy Moody. So she has been friends with Louis for years, sort of first meeting on the scene and then sort of, taking it away from the industry, let's say. They would know each other really well. And so Clemmy had a great chat with Louis. And he actually talked about his plans for the future. So I can share that with you a bit later. But I think what you say there is really interesting in that for Louis, it wasn't necessarily about, building. And for David, it was. But what I think is really interesting is we talked about how a lot of it for Louis was learning about this new kind of celebrity. Like initially he was all about the celebrity that you can touch and feel. You're a singer, you're a dancer, you're a star. And I think that through doing this, he learned via David and Zizi that there's a whole new kind of celebrity now, isn't there? It's just people who are there purely for their chat.
Yeah, he was learning, wasn't he, about the whole experience. And, sometimes his face described a tale of just being quite horrified by that fact. And going on about how Zizi, I don't know David. But isn't it great that he came away from it actually asking for David's number?
Yeah. Will
they ever actually have a phone call? I can't wait to find that out.
Oh my God, I can't wait. Like, we'll bump into a David at some party or something in a month or so and be like, show us your chat with Louis. Because...
and it'll just be like...
Green.
Yeah, it will, won't it?
That's like us when we're not on the pod.
Which way round?
So we wanted to do our own little wrap up of the series, didn't we?
Yeah, this is my favourite bit because I just love to be dishing out awards here, there and everywhere, and it's very Oscar-esque. But we've actually got some very special celebrity guests with us who are giving out their own awards. So I was going to give them a list of things, but do you know what? Big Brother's been so popular this year that they were just desperate to tell me what they thought and who they thought was going to be worthy of, it could be anything about like the funniest person or the snakiest person or all of the in-betweens. So, we've got all that to come.
How exciting. Well, I think that everybody's already got their opinions on... I think that with Big Brother, especially Celebrity Big Brother, it's just an absolute goldmine of opinions, isn't it? Can we hear the celebs now?
Yeah, let's go for it.
I'm excited to hear who's picked what for what.
Hopefully they've not nominated us for anything bad.
Just for like brilliantness.
Yeah. Let's see.
I would award Louis for the Authenticity Award. I think it takes a lot of, and I don't think he was doing it for this reason. I don't think he could care less. But I think it takes a lot of courage to really just speak your mind and see things for what they are. And I think Louis did a lot of that. Aside from the gossiping, we live in a world where cancel culture is a thing and people are really afraid to sometimes speak from the heart. And I think he conquered that. And I think he showed in the process that never be rude. As my mum says, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I think he was always respectful, but I think he really sees the ability to be truthful. And I like the way that he sort of sat back and observed sometimes and watched how these dynamics and relationships unfold. And comparing it to The Apprentice, there were a lot of moments where I felt like people's personal relationships and their dynamics were infecting the tasks. And yeah, I don't like that. I don't like the gameplay and I don't like the manipulativeness, which I think was apparent in my series at times. And I also think was apparent in the Big Brother house.
I think it's the biggest breakdown of a character on screen, and I am so hurt and shocked that I grew up watching this icon on This Morning every single day, but I cannot believe the cracks that are starting to show on Lady Fern Britton. I thought she was going to be everything of a TV anchor, and she has managed to just slip through the net and bring so much unneeded drama to the table. I think that her true colours are starting to show, and I actually think that if she would have been evicted, we would have probably left thinking that Fern was a lovely human.
What were her biggest breakdown moments?
Ekin Sue, the nomination, when...
I'm still not over that. It was savage.
It was the aftermath when she went, "You're great. You're great." You have just annihilated her. You've torn down her personality. You've completely diminished her character, and then went, you're like, that is the only way is Essex controversy, and we're seeing a TV anchor do it. So yeah, that was an iconic moment for me.
Oh my God, Sharon, just Sharon's whole presence. She is, I wish she was in there the whole time. I love Sharon, everything about her. Obviously I used to watch her on TV years and years and years ago when I was younger, and I've always looked at her and thought, oh my God, she looks like such a sick mum, and I'd love to have a mum like that. And yeah, I just love how she holds herself, how she presents herself. She looks great for her age as well. So the fact that she was even a Big Brother housemate, that's such a highlight for me. I love, again with David, but I love his little snippets in the diary room, his comments. I think he said something like, I think they were doing the singing competition, and he said something like, I'm basically part of Westlife now, or something like that. His some little comments like that. He's been great and really funny. I don't know. I wasn't too keen on Ekin-Su. I did really like Ekin-Su when she won Love Island. But then when she went in the house, I think she didn't know who she was, and I think she was trying to be someone, and every time she was speaking to people, she would be someone different and trying to please everyone, probably trying to win as well. Probably thought because she's got 3 million followers, she's got it in the bag. And then she obviously slagged off OnlyFans, which I understand people don't like OnlyFans, but I think for someone who's been on TV for months in a bikini, I think you're not that far away from potentially. I'm not saying she would do it, but her comment was, if I was broke, I still wouldn't do it, which I don't agree with. Like, you're not a nun. If a nun said that, I'd be like, cool, I understand. But you're like, some people make a lot of money off OnlyFans with just posting bikini pictures. Mm-hmm. She made out that she didn't post any bikini pictures, and she actually did. And yeah, I think she just was so obsessed with everyone judging her for being on Love Island when no one actually cared.
You see, I thought that Bradley and Colson and Nikita were all lovely, lovely young men. Mm-hmm. I don't think you would fault them. They've all got television careers. There was no side with them. I'm on television. They got in there. They stuck together. But the one I favoured most was Colson. Mm-hmm. There was something about that boy. He's on Coronation Street. And you know what I loved? When his mum and he got together. And she said, I've been looking after your house plants. He said, oh, good. She said, they're good. I thought, oh, he's even growing house plants. They were lovely lads, but I've got a soft spot for Colson. He was just a thoroughly nice young man. And honestly, you couldn't fault him, could you? And also, he did a bit more entertaining than Bradley or Nikita. He had a lot more to say. But I like Bradley, I like Nikita. Close for me, but Colson would have been the winner for me.
So you didn't think Colson was boring?
Not at all. I love him. He conversed with a lot of people, and oh, bless him. He was just a thoroughly nice character, and he'd go and chat to people. Whereas young Bradley, he was a quiet boy, wasn't he? He wasn't going to walk over and start a conversation. And Nikita was just a charming young man who was grateful to be in this country, and it showed. And three lovely young men, but if someone had to make me pick which I would like to have won out of the three of them, I would say Colson. Just a nice chappy, just lovely.
Would you ever fancy a role on Corrie? I could see you on Corrie.
Well, I'd be the old battle axe dear, wouldn't I? Well, I don't imagine me running the pub. Oh, God.
I think it would be brilliant. And it would be the cleanest the Rover's ever been, obviously.
Oh, understand the nonsense, all this. Oh, no, I'd be very, You know what, David? Good luck to you, my love. You won fair and square. And, they wanted you to win. They voted. They've every right to have their votes, So good luck to you, my love.
Do you feel like he deserves his place alongside you in the sort of most memorable housemates ever?
Never. Do you know something, honestly? Girls, I know you were. I did not go in that Big Brother house with the intention of being noticed particularly. I don't really mix with crowds of people. I didn't want to go, but you see, they were so rotten that my temper flared. I mean, things like chicken liver, I don't know where the hell I got that from, because I'd never heard it said to me, and filth, but I didn't go in there to cause a stir, but they were so horrible, I was in a state of temper, so I was lashing out, and there were a bunch of rotters, pigs and rotters, and I'm not taking that back. And you know what? When you gang up on somebody, you're not a nice person. If I've got something to say to you, I say, could I have a word privately? And I could say, you know, have a go at you. But I would never bring 6 friends standing at the back of me. That's cowardice and gang-handed. And in this country today, if ever before, you've got a situation where gang-handed people are on the streets doing all sorts of horrible things. If they were on their own, you wouldn't hear a peep out of them. They're a bunch of rotten, disgusting cowards, and I don't take it back.
Oh, Kim Woodburn, back for a second time, no less.
I know, she's like MVP, isn't she?
She is fabulous.
We should have done like our podcast award, and it would go to Kim.
Yeah, well, I can scratch all of these out. I'm just going to award everything to Kim. We've got some good ones that we wanted to throw in as well.
Yes.
Do you want to kick off? Yeah. Literally kick off.
Yeah, so literally kick off. I wanted to share my best beef. So we just loved this, obviously, when Nikita and Fern fell out and described it, said, are we having a beef?
A beef?
Are we having a beef? It's my new favourite thing. I said it to someone the other day and they were like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, oh my God, get with the programme. So my best beef was between Fern and the sofa.
Oh. Hilarious.
I forevermore will not tire of that clip where she just completely face plants into that sofa, followed by the swift Nikita then checking the sofa.
That was my favourite bit of it. It was just that, you know, like slamming it down just to see, like, have I killed her
the
or
whole
not?
Thing, the whole thing. I want that meme forevermore. So that is my CBB 24 a beef.
Lovely. I'm going to go for best boring housemate. And I mean this with like proper love. And I'm going to award it to Colson. Because obviously it was mentioned by Levi that he was boring. And Levi tried to say that was a compliment in some way. And obviously it wasn't. This is a genuine compliment. This is, if you're going to be called boring, he's going to be the best boring housemate there is. Because what a lovely guy. He did so well to finish in third, didn't he? He did super well. And he's only young, you forget, because he's been on TV for decades. You just think he's really old now. He's actually only 25. Yeah. So for him to have just shown a real emotion in there, cried. He's just been a lovely person. And do you know what? Celebrate just being ordinary. Not boring, this is just ordinary, but he is my best boring housemate.
Yeah, I love that. Because also, like, what better way to answer your critics than by coming third?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, exactly.
Well, I might be boring, but look at me.
You don't need to be bringing all the drama and all the time, don't you? So, yeah.
And actually, do you know what? That's what unites that top 3.
For sure.
Actually, really quite unproblematic.
The nice people always end up winning.
I think Big Brother, for all of the people talking about it being toxic and obviously, you know, ending some careers and all sorts of things, like, usually the ordinary nice people do win.
Because that's what we like.
Yeah.
We want to. We keep all the big characters in to stir out the drama, but it ultimately always goes to someone decent.
Yeah, it really does.
Aside from Stephen Bear.
Aside from Stephen
Bear. We need
Bear.
to make that clear.
Yeah, we should make that clear. Best eviction.
That's a good question.
Yeah, so it wasn't really an eviction, but when Sharon left.
Yeah.
It just the whole...
a best non-eviction.
Yeah,
eviction.
The whole kind of like, let's say 12 hours. So it was that amazing, and you know I love this, the Sharon and Louis show of them sort of everyone putting a pound in them and them having like a boost of energy and them doing the catwalk and then the tea party. And it was just so wholesome, yet flamboyant.
Yeah.
And she came out dripping in Chanel, just looking incredible. And then Kelly arrived and it just felt very premium.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't fault her one bit. She was just incredible from start to finish. She definitely earned her money.
Worth every penny.
I just wish that she had been in there the whole time. But yeah, the reaction she got when she came out, and even how devastated the housemates were after 5 days, proved what an icon she is.
Controversially, I'm glad she didn't stay longer. So
in case she ruined herself?
I just kind of see it like a bottomless brunch.
Okay.
So you're really excited about it. They're like, you've got an hour of free-flowing Prosecco, and you're like, brilliant, keep it coming. I want to be double part, triple part. But then actually, after that hour, you don't really want any more Prosecco. You're like, I'm done with this.
Okay, that's not happened to me ever.
Can I just have a beer? I just want to, I'll just have a quick G&T.
Right.
And I think that for that reason, Sharon was perfect.
Never have too much of a good thing.
I just feel like it was perfect. Anyway, so here endeth my little TED talk on Sharon Osbourne.
Fabulous. I'm going to go for best fake crying.
Oh.
And there's actually a few people in the running. But
So quick question, this wasn't during that awful challenge they had to do where they had to cry?
No. Oh, God, that was awful. That freaked me out. I'm trying to like force the tears into that little tube. That was weird.
How would you make yourself cry if you needed to?
I reckon onions, because that's just every time.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
works a treat.
Yeah.
Yeah, watching like Marley and Me or something like that of like dogs dying. I think that would send me over the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, just having to like really hold on to horrible stuff like that.
Yeah, just dig it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dig
nice.
deep. I'm just not a pro like the award winner, very worthy
Yeah.
award winner.
Go.
Best fake crying goes to Fern Britton. I just feel like she cried at like the drop of a hat, and it was happy tears a lot of the time, but it just felt so forced. I don't know. You know, me and Fern haven't got on this series.
No.
I do hope that she does well and comes out of it all really good. But yeah, she's just been a funny one.
Certainly, she sort of hinted that she was thinking about heading back to the limelight, didn't she? She said that it like renewed her passion for television.
Yeah. God, I
see.
wouldn't. Yeah, that's. Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Most talked about, the one that I think we'll be talking about for all
The
sorts of
housemate.
reasons.
Yeah.
We've touched on this before, Ekin. Mm-hmm. So obviously over the weekend she came out with a bit of a statement.
Yeah. What did you make of it?
It's just really tricky, isn't it? I think the thing that everybody thinks about it is like she shouldn't have been in that house in the first place.
Yeah.
It was awful timing with the breakup, with everything going on. She was obviously fresh off that plane from America. Like, I don't know about you, but like fresh off sort of a transatlantic jet laggy flight. The last thing I want to be doing is something like that. Never mind being in an emotional state.
Imagine being grumpy.
Yeah. I think that hopefully she just goes away and has like a really nice holiday.
Yeah. I loved that she was saying, it was quite an empowering statement of like, I chose to stay away from that environment because I recognised that wasn't good for me. I think that's something that everyone should be applauded for doing, like, that autonomy of, no, that I've realised that this is not great for myself and my future. She's a very deep person, isn't she? And that's what her whole statement was very, I don't know, it's like really thoughtful, isn't it? Thought out. And it would be lovely to see how she bounces back from it. Because like we said countless times, she didn't, in the grand scheme of things, didn't do anything that bad. No. And so it would be nice to see where she takes her career from here.
Defo. Sending the love from the Breakdown pod. Yeah. I generally think that it was a good series. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. Yeah,
I think it started off maybe stronger. I think Ekin just made it for that, like the whole dramatic nominations and stuff. But we're speaking to Kerry Katona, and she said it was the best series ever. So she just absolutely adored this series. Yeah.
I don't know. I agree. I think it started off really strong and then dwindled a bit.
Yeah, I think there was maybe potentially too many of just the ones who ended up in the final, really just the very nice people.
Yeah.
And so it didn't, I don't think that like the challenges were kind of strong enough for it to be really entertaining in that way.
So Louis got an opinion about this.
Right.
Of course
he has. Of course he has.
So I've printed out a little digest of some of the gems that he shared with Clemmy.
Yeah.
So obviously, some of you will have read some of these about this already over the weekend, but I just thought I would share them with you for people that like to listen as opposed to read. So he thinks, funnily enough, there was way too much kissing, hugging, being nice to each other, and fakeness. He says, you don't even know each other, so fake. They all wanted to win. That was the bottom line on the show.
Yeah.
There was nothing controversial that happened because everyone was too wary, too woke. Everyone is just too careful what they say, and it becomes bland and boring.
Oh, obsessed with that.
I
It's
know.
just saying it how it is.
But I kind of agree with him.
Totally.
It was basically just him and Sharon.
Yeah. Everyone else was just their character, because you could do it for 3 weeks. It's only 3 weeks out of their whole life, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Nikita and Fern, they wanted it the most. They played to the cameras the whole time.
Ooh, Nikita.
Yeah, so he says Nikita's very ambitious. I think he will become a big star. He could do it all. He thinks that the only one that was actually genuine in there was Levi.
Oh.
Yeah. He says, really got on with Colson. We swapped numbers.
Oh.
Doesn't mention having David's number.
Oh,
there.
no.
So, yeah.
David will find it.
Yeah.
David will find it for sure.
Exactly. So the other thing that Louis said is obviously, you know, when Clemmy asked him about, was he a bit worried about all the things that he'd shared about people or the opinions? He was like, I was only telling the truth. I wasn't trying to be catty.
I wasn't trying. It just comes naturally.
I just say it like it is. We should have him on. We should just get him on as the pod host.
Oh,
Can you imagine?
Yeah. He would be ruthless.
Louis should have a podcast. I think that would be perfect. 'Cause he
Oh,
could
I
just
would love it
do
so
it from
much.
Dublin. He obviously hates being over here because he thinks it's all fake in London.
Yeah.
Let's do it from home. The really nice thing though, and I think that we talked about this at the time, when he made that big revelation about his health and his cancer battle.
Oh, yeah.
So he talked about that some more, and he basically just said, as I think we all suspected, like having cancer was just a great reality check for him. He says, you know, it changed him. He is trying to be a better person, and he's trying to be nicer, but he just will never not be able to just say what he thinks. And I think that's fair enough. Do you know what, though, I think is really, really important, and I think this is just generally a good message, is that searches for his kind of cancer has gone up massively.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I don't think this necessarily came across at the time, but the kind of cancer that he has is incurable. People that have it, I won't try and pronounce it because I'll get it wrong, but it's a very rare kind of blood cancer, and it's manageable, which is the state that he's in now, and he's sort of in remission, so to speak. But yeah, it will always be with him now.
It's the power of television, of, you know, just listening in on these conversations and learning through a format that maybe people would be scared to sort of delve into otherwise. But when it comes up in that, it creates a discussion point,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
100%. But he has also revealed that he, for the first time ever in his life in the house, had a panic attack.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And so basically it was in the small hours of the morning when everyone was asleep, and he woke up and he couldn't go back to sleep, and he suddenly had this huge panic attack and didn't really know what was happening because he's 71 and had never had it happen.
Wow.
And Big Brother were able to help him and sort of give him some therapy to all intents and purposes.
Goodness.
So yeah, like, and again, I think this is really interesting because Louis will come away from Celebrity Big Brother, and the thing that everyone will always talk about is his brilliant stories and his brilliant catty asides about Bono and Mariah Carey and this, that and the other. But, you know, there's also like a real legacy of him talking about his cancer and really opening up on that. And, you know, we actually know Louis a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah, like I think looking at some of the other ones, I don't feel like I know Nikita much more at all, Colson. Whereas Louis, I know what he thinks about everyone on the planet. And I think I appreciated his humour, that he was like a person who grew the entire time. You just learned more and more every episode.
Yeah. I think he went in there.
This is the Louis fan club today.
Yes, it's the Ludio.
Stop doing this.
You know, he went in there and he was just 100% real, wasn't he? So I'm surprised he didn't win. And I'm really surprised he came fourth. But I think it says more about the audience.
Yeah.
That watch now.
Yeah.
Or vote.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a younger kind of audience, or who knows. Speaking of Nikita, let's talk about the after party. So the Big Brother after party, and I love this for them, they just have it at the pub down the road from the biscuit factory.
Yes.
So the Grand Junction Arms, shout out. They just have it there. They just take it over. And I love that because it's just very laid back and not too glitzy. And by all accounts, it was a rip-roaring affair. I think we saw various bits and bobs on social media. David Potts slut-dropping here. Dance-offs there. Oti Mabuse living her best life. But Nikita and his girlfriend had a little row.
Oh no.
Yeah, so there were some photos that did the rounds of them having a tense moment outside and looking unhappy. So obviously we don't know what that was about, and it might have just been that he forgot to get her a drink at the bar. And I don't know about you, but that always annoys me when someone goes to the bar and doesn't get me a drink.
Oh, that's a shame because they were very sweet when they had their rendezvous.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe she didn't think he mentioned her enough in there or something.
Maybe. I'd want to be like every other sentence.
Yeah, like
mention every single
anyway,
day.
that's my girlfriend.
Yeah. But David actually did have like quite a quiet one for the weekend. I was chatting to some of his friends, and I was expecting him to be going on for like a 48-hour party or something after that out. But actually, he had lots of commitments for work and wanted to get straight back to it. So he kind of ditched everything just to make sure that he was focused and all ready, on form, top form. And then yesterday he spent some time at Sheesh and enjoyed a little dinner there, and it was all quite chilled, really relaxed.
I mean, if in doubt, if you're a famous person,
head to Sheesh.
Head to Sheesh.
For sure. Best place ever.
It's like, who even needs China White or like Annabelle's anymore? If you want to see a famous person in London, Sheesh.
I know, for sure.
The thing that I really love, though, from the after party is everyone went wild because Oti Mabuse shared a story with a picture of her with Big Brother. So the man who is the Big Brother voice in the house. Yes. And he looks exactly as you think he would look. So we should definitely share a little picture now for those of you that are watching online, because I would love to hear what you all think, because he looks exactly like, I think he's sort of like a middle-aged guy. Obviously, he's got a checked shirt on. He's got a beard.
Yeah.
Exactly like I imagine.
Do you think that he speaks like that all the time? Or is this like, when you have a phone voice and you put that on, do you think that's his phone voice is just like working on Big Brother and having this booming, kind of the way that he speaks? But actually, maybe he's got quite a high-pitched voice in real life?
I don't know. Well, I guess, question for you, do you have a podcast voice?
Oh, for sure, yeah. I sound like Phil Mitchell when this is off.
See, this is my problem because I don't have a podcast voice, as you can probably tell from my awful cackle.
That's my favourite thing about the podcast, is hearing that cackle of yours.
Oh. Well, one thing's for sure, I think everyone at ITV is really happy with how the series went. So I think, just looking at my stats here, the launch has hit like 4 million now in terms of ratings, and certainly, as we revealed last week, Celebrity Big Brother will be back for another series, top end of 2025, and we've got The Civilian to look forward to coming up this autumn.
Yeah.
So,
and I think because it's been so successful, and people like Kerry Katona saying how much they loved it, and her even sort of suggesting that she goes back in for a second round. Kim Woodburn obviously very keen, but it would be a great thing for them to be able to just, I guess it's like a good recommendation or a whatever the word is. Endorsement,
yeah.
For them, because everyone's loved it so much, and I think people have seen that it's maybe not as cruel as it used to be in a sort of maybe Channel 4 or 5 days. So they'll probably get more signings this time, because I think you do like to see how it's all played out and then sign up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it's maybe given them that confidence to go for it, so we'll get some bigger names perhaps.
I think so. Certainly when we'd spoken to people who said, I was asked, but yeah, there was potentially a bit of trepidation about, let's see how things pan out.
Yeah,
I do have some notes. I do think that towards the end it reached challenge overkill. It was like I quite enjoyed just watching them chatting.
Oh yeah, I've never enjoyed the challenge side as much. I'd much prefer just to hear them gossiping and the more interaction between them and get to know them. I think there was an opportunity to get to know Colson and Nikita more in their backgrounds. We got a little bit with Nikita about Ukraine, but yeah, I completely agree with you on that.
Towards the end, I don't know whether it's just because they were all being quite boring.
Yeah, maybe.
But there were some days where it felt there was 3 different things going on, and
I wonder they've all come out exhausted, because they've all all said, well, we've not done much, really. We've just sat around in a house, but they're all absolutely shattered.
Exactly. And I think that's what's the point of booking all of these huge names with these interesting lives and then just having them dress up as stuff? You know what I mean? You could just have normal people do that, or people who have lived less rich sort of, experiences and lives to share and stuff. So that would be my one little thing. Let's just dial back slightly on the format, production, and sort of tap into those conversations and stuff.
Agreed.
Speaking of tapping into conversations, any podcast news for us?
Potentially. We've got The Only Way is Essex coming up next. So please stay tuned for that. And that's what we're going to be doing now, is looking at the next biggest show. So get in touch if there's any shows that you want us to focus on, because that would be, brilliant to sort of hear what everyone's favourites are.
I can't wait for you to be in your Towie era.
I know, I might start looking like I'm from Essex.
Less blazers, less business-like devs. I want bodycon, I want glitz.
That's actually the weekend for me, so I'm absolutely fine. I've got it all ready to go.
Oh, I just love it. Well, hopefully you've enjoyed our breakdown and beefs on Celebrity Big Brother breakdown, and hopefully we'll be back in autumn.
Yeah,
I'll have more knits ready for you by then.
Even though it's going to be summer.
Well, not if it's autumn.
Yeah, but it's going to be... No, but that'll be... Isn't it normally kind of August time?
Yeah,
September.
maybe.
We've still got some months left of summer. Come on.
Oh, you know me. I'll always squeeze a knitted.
Yeah.
Nice sleeve.
Be baking outside and there you are with your knitting on.
Knitted bikini or something. Well, that'll get them back, Amanda, won't it?
Yeah, on that bombshell.
Thank you so much. See you next time.